to Top Trending, home of the most random yet interesting videos on the web. Today's video is no exception to that, as we cover some of the strangest and strikingly dangerous stories of sleepwalkers. When we think of sleepwalking, we probably all envision rather harmless acts like pouring your favorite cereal topped off with orange juice, or waking up on the opposite side of the house. But these next 10 people woke up under far worse circumstances than those. In 1987, Canadian local Kenneth Parks faced trial for the murder of his mother-in-law and attempted murder of his father-in-law. He turned himself into the authorities after bludgeoning his mother-in-law with a tire iron and attempted to strangle his father-in-law. Astoundingly though, in 1989, all charges were dropped and he was acquitted, leaving the courtroom a free man, with his wife's testimony stating that he lacked motive for the murder. The defense also argued that he was fast asleep and couldn't be held responsible for his actions, as he had reportedly suffered from the medical condition known as somnambulism, commonly referred to as sleepwalking. In 2009, a 51-year-old man from northern Wisconsin by the name Timothy Brudgman, who suffered from severe insomnia for years, decided to try and get some solid rest with the help of his prescription Ambien. Timothy made it an incredible 190 yards, or 570 feet, away from his home in Hayward during a negative 16 degrees Fahrenheit, or roughly negative 26 degrees Celsius, winter night. Surprisingly, without shoes on, police responded to a report from his son that he was missing. They followed his prints through the snow and came across his frozen corpse. Friends and family say he had been known to sleepwalk, and also stated he had once crashed his pickup truck into a tree without waking up. James Currens, a 77-year-old man and a habitual sleepwalker, awoke one day to find himself in several feet of water with his legs stuck in mud and surrounded by alligators. James used his cane to poke and prod the beasts at bay until his screams could be heard by his neighbor, who immediately dialed the local police. Using high-output lights to scare off the nocturnal reptiles, the authorities were able to rescue the man, while only suffering minor scrapes to his legs and arms. A local man, an unsuspecting hero, spotted something out of the ordinary as he was walking by a construction site in Dulwich, London. He saw a body laying upon the counterweight of a 130-foot crane. The body in question belonged to a 15-year-old girl whose name has yet to be released. The man immediately called the police around 1:30 a.m., though at first they thought they were dealing with an attempted suicide. But as a firefighter went to check on her, he then discovered she was fast asleep, wrapping her in a safety harness before engaging in a 2-hour rescue. They discovered she had a mobile phone in her pocket. Not wanting to wake the girl themselves and to avoid causing a panic, they contacted her parents, who immediately went to their daughter to awaken her with familiar voices. Though sex with strangers isn't very unheard of, or even very uncommon nowadays, for it to happen with consent while you slept with no actual memory of it is. In 2004, a woman in Australia who has chosen for obvious reasons to go unnamed was treated for a rare case of somnambulism, in which she would go out, meet strangers, and have sex with them. Evidence, such as used condoms, began emerging across the household of the middle-aged woman and her partner, which alerted the couple to the problem. One night, as her partner woke and found her missing, he started a search that would result in her being caught in the throes of her nocturnal sexual acts. Shortly after, she went and received medical treatment for her condition. In 1993, a 9-year-old boy gets out of his bed in the middle of the night, sleepwalks to the bedroom window of his parents' 4th-floor apartment, and falls to the ground. That's the story of Stuart Miller, who survived the fall, now bound to a wheelchair. They took the owners of the apartment to court, claiming the windows were not properly child secure. The defendants admitted their fault in the matter and reached a settlement of 1.35 million euros, roughly $2.1 million. By today's standard, that's nearly 3.2 million euros, or approximately $3.5 million. 35-year-old truck driver Alan Ball claims to have fallen asleep on a couch after heavily drinking at a New Year's party. He then reportedly during that night walked up the stairs and climbed into bed with a 12-year-old girl and kissed her on the lips. He defended himself by claiming to be sleepwalking the whole time, as he was known to do. He was acquitted of all allegations after defense consulted two experts in which they concluded he spoke the truth. Common belief is that in his sleeping state, he thought he was going to bed next to his wife. Though no criminal record came from this, he was still put through hell. He was outcast by his peers, lost his job, and custody of his 5-year-old daughter for a year. Then 24-year-old Amy Wigfall suffered a multitude of broken bones, hemorrhaging on the brain, and a punctured lung after her fall from a 5th-story hotel room during her vacation in Spain in 2014. With no reported history of sleepwalking, Amy was documented as claiming, "I don't remember it happening, and I remember waking up in intensive care with mom and dad." She was very lucky to have survived the fall, given the fact that if she had fallen just to the left of her landing spot, she would have hit a motorcycle or some rocks to the right. It is believed that her injuries were reduced because she was asleep, leaving her body limber and relaxed, opposed to that of being awake. An unnamed 31-year-old woman in Davis Square Station, Massachusetts, was presumed to be sleepwalking when she fell into the underground subway tracks, narrowly missing the 3rd electric rail, sparing her life through luck alone. She claims to have fallen asleep on a nearby bench and remembers nothing prior to the incident before waking up on the tracks and screaming for help. Two passers-by that heard her call for help came to her aid, and shortly afterwards she was admitted at Massachusetts General Hospital, where she was treated for minor injuries to her left arm. A North Carolina man strangled his 4-year-old son and then tried to kill his other 2 children. When the defense argued that the man had a history of violent sleepwalking, his ex-wife Christine Parolini finally thought justice was at hand. That is, until the defense worked. Clearing him of all charges, Joseph Anthony Mitchell got to leave the court a free man, even when a psychologist testified after interviewing Mitchell multiple times, claiming he felt he had no mental condition that would have left him unconscious during the attacks, stating furthermore that they must have been planned consciously. Though Mitchell's trial would go on for just 1 month, the jury quickly came back with a not guilty verdict in less than 4 short hours. After all was said and done, some members of the jury spoke out, stating they didn't believe the sleepwalking defense, but their hands were tied. We want to thank you all for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you're interested in watching more. We post new videos every week.
Crap, 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 crap.